I'm Alexa Rhoda, and I am your Miss Earth Australia 2025. So excited to share how passionate I am to be Miss Earth Australia 2025.
How does it feel to be crowned Miss Earth Australia 2025?
Hi, hello. Thank you so much for coming tonight. To be crowned as Miss Earth 2025 just feels deeply right inside me. I've always grown up with a strong sense of environmentalism and wanting to connect with nature and share my connection with nature. So inside me it's just felt right.
And your advocacy campaign, once recently, what inspired you and what message do you hope to convey?
Yes, of course. So I previously entered Miss Philippines Earth. It was my first ever pageant in June this year. And my campaign was One Switch a Day, and my advocacy centered on sharing the impacts of microplastics, because I found out that I unfortunately have cancer cells in my body, and I'm quite young, I'm 24 years old, so it was quite a scare to hear that I have cancer cells. But after doing a deep dive into what causes them, what exacerbates them, I found out how bad microplastics are and how prevalent they are in our waterways, in our food, and just in our everyday life. So I wanted to share that during my experience with Miss Philippines Earth. However, during the Miss Earth competition, my advocacy stays the same about wanting to connect health in our environment and our need to preserve our environment, because it keeps us healthy and keeps us connected to healthy. But my advocacy focuses on more of my experience growing up in Australia. So I would love to share my advocacy. It has slightly changed. So in Australia, 8.4 million tons of food is wasted per year. Food waste is rampant, causing hunger and environmental harm. And I grew up with a father who was a farmer. Unfortunately, he passed away when I was young. But before he passed away, he showed me the importance of how our First Nations people in Australia have practices that look after our earth, connect with the seasons, and also respect our environment. And so that's a part of my advocacy right now, because when we deeply connect with where our food comes from and how it's produced, we can heal our bodies and we can heal our community. There's a long list of resources that show that this is true, and I want to share that with the world, because when we reconnect with our farmers and where our food comes from and with our Indigenous practices, we can heal communities, not only physically, but spiritually, and also heal our earth at the same time.
Well said.
How did that experience prepare you for the international stage or the Miss Earth 2025?
I am so blessed that I had the experience of joining Miss Philippines Earth. On a practical level, there are so many similarities between the Miss Philippines Earth competition and the International Miss Earth. So that has prepared me for understanding the process of the competition. But more on a deeper level, it was my first ever pageant, so it helped me prepare for beauty pageants, understanding what is required, and also how to connect with people. It's something so out of my comfort zone. I am a law student, so I'm used to talking to a crowd and sharing my advocacy, but it looks a little different. Only there's just one person, the judge, that I'm talking to, not a group of people, and there's not cameras. So I'm so excited to learn new skills and have new experiences.
How does it feel knowing that many Filipinos, especially Navajoeños, are excited to see and support you again?
Davao is my second home. I was born in Davao but grew up in Australia. So I'm a proud Filipino Australian, and I'm so excited to support Australians and Davaoeños and Filipinos in my journey and to share my advocacy with them. I had the most beautiful opportunity in Davao. I got to go visit a local Indigenous tribe, and they shared to me the the importance of looking after nature. I asked the chief if he had any sentiments about my advocacy and about the importance of connecting to nature. And he shared with me, when nature dies, so does our tribe. And that really touched deep inside me because that's what my advocacy is all about. When nature dies, our health dies, our community dies, and our deep roots to the earth dies with it.
Thank you, Alexa.
Thank you so much, Paul.
I'd like to know, what is it about the Miss Earth pageant that made you seek to join the competition twice? First in the Miss Philippines Earth pageant and second through the Queens of Australia pageant.
That's such an amazing question. So I first joined the Miss Philippines Earth pageant because growing up in Australia, as I've shared previously, my dad taught me the importance of connecting to nature, and it was something that just came naturally as he was a farmer and I grew up in a small coastal town. So every second I was in the sun, at the beach, on a hike, connecting to nature, joining jobs and occupations and volunteer activities where I could share my environmental advocacy. So wanting to join Miss Philippines Earth was really a natural transition for me in my life and experience. Because also as a half Filipino, you grow up wanting to do pageants. So getting to do a pageant that aligned with my values and my advocacy on environmentalism was very fitting. And then wanting to join Miss Earth Australia, I saw the Miss Earth platform and how you could connect with people. I got the opportunity to share my advocacy at the University of the East, and I saw how one student shared how it impacted him, and he didn't realize the impacts of microplastics. And so I came back because I'm not done sharing my advocacy. I really do have a deep passion for the environment, and I want to share it with as many people as I can. And I've been blessed with the opportunity of having an international stage. So I'm going to keep going and sharing what I care so deeply about.
That took place last night had a back-to-back victory. Does that give you an increased confidence that you also can possibly give a back-to-back victory for Australia in Miss Earth?
I got to see some of the clips from Miss Grand last night, and Emma from the Philippines performed so beautifully and confidently. And I'm confident that Australia can have a back-to-back win as well. Jessica Lake is such an inspiration, and I'm ready to fill those shoes, and I'm ready to keep on going, sharing our passions and our advocacies from Australia.
How are you preparing for the competition? And I noticed that you came early and because the finals will be held in November. So what are the activities in between? The reason why you came to the Philippines early?
Hi, thank you so much, Robin. So I'm so excited with every activity that's a part of my prep. So I'm connecting with myself, psychologically preparing with my team here in Manila, with my catwalks. Beauty pageants is something that are very new to me. So I'm preparing my passerella training and just building confidence in a new space that's very unfamiliar to me. But something that I'm most excited about was my activities and my preparation in Davao, where I got to connect with Davaoeños and share my advocacies. I got to visit a beautiful organic and sustainable farm called Gran Verde, and Tita Witt showed me the importance and also confirmed my advocacy by sharing how she healed herself and reconnected with nature and is using sustainable practices on her farm. I also, a part of my prep, got to go and plant mango trees, which was actually my advocacy project for our thesis defense. To carry out something that I was advocating for during the Miss Philippines Earth was a very powerful experience.
Okay. Can the Filipinos learn from Australians in terms of caring and preserving the environment?
I think Filipinos are doing an amazing job with understanding the importance of environmental preservation. I think I would love to see manufacturers and businesses and governments get more involved with helping the community have access to making environmental preservation easier for the common Filipino.
Thank you, Alexa.
I would love to be invited. That would be the most amazing opportunity, not only as a beauty queen, but also with my profession as a law graduate by next year. Something that I would want to share would be my advocacy. I think food security is one of the 4 basic needs of humans, and people need to start acknowledging the importance of securing sustainable farming practices everywhere across the world and making sure it's accessible to everybody. I would love to see agricultural businesses supported and farmers recognized for the importance and the backbone that they are to the society. So if I was able to be invited to the UN, I would love to advocate for more support for farmers and sustainable practices and innovations where we fuse modern science, indigenous practices to make farming more sustainable.
Since you're a law student and graduating next year, what environmental law would you like to author and for implementation?
Yes, of course. So I am going to complete my studies by November, and a part of my final units is to write a thesis policy paper on its report. And I actually wrote this on environmental law because it's something that really is passionate to me. So in Australia, unlike the Philippines, we don't have environmental laws a part of our constitution. So who makes our laws is the state government. And they are far from our local councils, and it's hard to discuss with our local councils what's going on in our local environments. So something that I would love to see in Australia is more bandwidth for local councils to implement environmental laws, because they are the ones that know what is happening in their community, what needs to be regulated in their environments. And I was actually so blessed with the opportunity in Davao to have a discussion with judges and lawyers, and I got to hear how Filipinos are so amazing with having their own regulations in their local councils so that they can implement them directly. So what the Philippines is doing here, I would love to see in Australia.
Thank you. Best of luck.
Thank you.